What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing you my live hands video for my Rose Dragon Therion deck. This deck is a lot of fun, has a lot of capabilities, has fun, interesting interactions that you can do. It does brick a little bit more than the Brave version, but it does give you a little bit of a different option if you don't want to run the Brave package, giving you access to the Therion engine while giving you other access to such things as level 8 synchros through Fengli and other interactions overall by being able to set some extra negates through the Therion stuff, or really utilize those level 7 synchros to a further extent. Anyways, I want to hop into this, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our first test hand going first, and then our final one will be us going second, so you guys get a idea of what this deck looks like. So let's hop right on into it. Alright, so for our first test hand, we're getting Black Rose Garden, White Rose Cloister, Red Rose Dragon, Therion King Regulus, and Therion Lily Borea. Alright, so first up, we're going to go ahead and activate that Black Rose Garden effect to add a Rose Dragon monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add that White Rose Dragon. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand. Or excuse me, when it's normal summon. But we're not going to activate that effect because we can still utilize the effect to special summon it from hand by normal summoning the Red Rose Dragon, or we can normal summon White Rose to special summon Red Rose. It's personally up to you on however you like to do. Now that I think about it, we'll probably do the White Rose to special summon the Red Rose. Just be careful because this can be impermed. You can do it the other way to get around an effect veiler or imperm, so you normal summon the Red Rose and then do White Rose effect in hand to special summon it, giving you access. From here, we'll next go these two into our level 7, which would be Bramble Rose. Note that since we did use Red Rose Dragon, we can add a Blooming of the Darkest Rose and we can special summon one Rose Dragon monster from our deck or our hand, but since we don't have one in our hand, we're fine. And then since White Rose was sent to the graveyard, we can send a level 4 or higher plant monster from the deck to the graveyard. So in this case, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead, send that Therion Lily Borea, and then special summon that Rox Rose Dragon. Basically, we're going to chain it to where the White Rose effect goes first, so that'd be chain 2. Chain 1 will be Red Rose. And then when Rox Rose is special summon, you can add one card that mentions Black Rose Dragon from your deck to your hand, except Rox Rose. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add Vengeful Witch. So, we're already at 4 summons. This is where we're going to go ahead and set up the Therion King Regulus by special summoning it, attaching the Therion Lily Borea to it, so we have that interaction as a interactable negation. Next, we'll go ahead and special summon the Vengeful Witch, since we control a Rose Dragon, or a monster that mentions Black Rose. And then we'll go ahead and synchro summon these two into another level 7, which we can either do another Bramble Rose, or we can go into a Black Rose Moonlight, to further get an insurable bounce if we need it. Next up, we'll go ahead and activate Vengeful Witch effect. You can discard one card, since it's sent to the graveyard and a synchro monster's on the field. Discard one card, special one plant monster with 1500 less defense from your deck. So we can either do the Therion Lily Borea, but we're going to send the White Rose Cloister, since we don't really need it. So we're going to summon out the Twilight Rose Black Knight. We'll next activate Twilight Rose Black Knight effect, allowing us to special summon back the Vengeful Witch. Make it a level 3 synchro for our Rage Rose Witch. Next, we're going to go ahead and activate Rage Rose Witch effect. If this card is synchro summon, you can send up to one plant monster from your extra deck and your deck to the graveyard. Also cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except synchro monsters, so we're fine with that. But we're going to send a Garden Rose Maiden along with a Fengli. So, since Fengli was sent by a monster effect, we can special summon it And if we control another plant monster, we could have the attack and defense of one monster on the field. We're not going to worry about that. Instead, we're going to go ahead and take Fengli and Black Rose Moonlight and go right into our Crystal Wing Dragon, or Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, excuse me, so we can get a extra negation on the board. But we can also do a couple other things, in which we're going to banish the Garden Rose Maiden and summon the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. Or what we can do is summon the Therion Lilyboria instead, and then get us a Disc Coliseum. It's a really interactable play here in which you can do either or. Because we do have plant targets, we can get the Therion Lilyboria instead of bringing back the Black Rose Moonlight with the Garden Rose Maiden. So if we did that, we would just go Therion Lilyboria, equipping whatever plant we really want. In this case, we'll just be funny and equip a Vengeful Witch. And then we'll activate the effect. You can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard, add one Therion spell or trap from your deck to your hand. In this case, we'll just send the Vengeful Witch. And then add the Disc Coliseum. Then we'll activate the Therion Disc Coliseum and add a Therion monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, it would be our last Therion Lilyboria. But it also gives us a little bit of extra protection, because if a monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send a Therion card or an Endless System Aggros from your deck to the graveyard instead. But we don't have that Therion monster in the deck to really send, but we don't have to really worry about that, because we have enough protection as is with Therion King Regulus on here, being able to turn our Therion monsters into interactable negates. We have Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon as a negation for monsters. Rage Rose Witch makes all our plant monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. And then Black Rose Garden makes all our monsters plants. So that helps out a lot. And Bramble Rose, we can basically swap to a Black Rose Dragon at any point. And we also do get the extra burn. But overall, that's what I have for the first test hand. Let's go ahead and hop right in to our second going first test hand. All right, for our next going first test hand, we draw on a White Rose Dragon, Black Rose Garden, Basil Rose Shoot, Rose Princess, and Red Rose Dragon. So what we're going to go ahead and do is activate that Black Rose Garden, get us a Rocks Rose Dragon from our deck to our hand, since we already have the other two. We're not going to waste our normal summon here, but we can still do it if we want to. This way we can go around and do a couple things. So we can either do the Red Rose, especially some of the Rocks Rose combo like we did last test hand, or we can normal the Rocks Rose and give us an extra body. So what we can do here is go ahead. So we're just going to do the Red Rose combo here, to where we can special the White Rose Dragon and then do our normal thing. But we're going to go ahead and synchro these two off. Go into our Bramble Rose. Red Rose effect, and then White Rose effect. So White Rose first, then Red Rose. So White Rose, we're going to send a Therion Lilyboria. And then Red Rose, add a Blooming, because I forgot to do that last turn. And then special summon a Rocks Rose. Rocks Rose effect will trigger, giving us a monster that mentions Black Rose Dragon from our deck to our hand. So we'll get Vengeful Witch. So next, we'll go ahead and special summon that Vengeful Witch, and further synchro these two off into a level 7. Now, you don't have to go into the Moonlight, but you can go into the Circle of Fairies if you would like as well. Vengeful Witch, you can then proc, activating its effect, discarding a card. In this case, we will go ahead and discard the Rocks Rose we have in hand to summon out the Twilight Rose Black Knight. And then Twilight Rose Black Knight effect to bring back the Vengeful Witch. We'll make it a level 6, special summon into our Rage Rose Witch effect. in which we'll go ahead and send our Fangly. And, of course, as you guys know, we are going to send our Garden Rose Maiden. Next, we're going to go ahead and discard Rose Princess to get a White Rose Cloister from our deck to our hand. White Rose Cloister basically gives us an extra draw if we want, but it also gives us a little bit of interactability if we really need to. But in this case, we're going to go ahead, because I did miss the time for the Fangly, because before we did the Rose Princess, we would have to special summon the Fangly to our board. The reason why I didn't do that is because I do want to keep around an extra body, or extra spot open, given its Genesys. We only have 5 zones instead of 6. So what are we going to do next? Well, next we're going to go ahead and activate Basil Rose Shoot, and special summon back out our Rocks Rose Dragon, and then we're going to banish Garden Rose Maiden to summon out White Rose Dragon. We'll take these two, go into another level 7 here. This is where you can either go into Bramble Rose or really into Moonlight. It's personally up to you on however you see fit. If you want that extra protection, if they summon anything level 5 or higher, you go into Moonlight. If you want the extra burn damage, you'll go into another Bramble Rose, so you're burning for effectively 1200 damage instead of just 600. And then we'll just go ahead and activate the White Rose Cloister and set the Blooming of the Darkest Rose. Now, do note that we didn't have an extra monster to really summon here because Circle of Fairies. But if we did keep the actual Rose Princess, we could normal summon it and saved a card, because Circle of Fairies does give us an extra normal summon. So that could have been another route you could have taken to really work that in there to get an extra body. But just so you guys know, this is how you can set up a decent board as well with a little bit of extra protection. This one would die to Nibiru, unfortunately, because we don't have that extra protection just yet. But we still had a lot of capability, because the other option you could have done was kept the when you sent the Fangly, you could have summoned it, take Circle of Fairies and Fangly, and go into a Crystal Wing, get that monster negate up, but still would have been within the Nibiru limit. Either way, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into our final test hand of us going second to see what we could do to break a board. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and see what we get for our final hand for us going second. So we first draw a Basil Rose Shoot, Vengeful Witch, Black Rose Garden, another Basil Rose Shoot, and a White Rose Dragon. Alright, so that would be a pretty decent going first hand. Let's see what our 6th card would be. It's Therion the Circular Sorcerer. Alright, so from here, what we're going to have to do to play around with this a little bit is a couple of things. So one, we're going to go ahead and activate Black Rose Garden right off rip. Black Rose Garden gives us the effect to add a Rose Dragon monster. From here, we're going to go ahead and grab the Red Rose Dragon. Then we'll go ahead and normal summon that Red Rose Dragon, special summon the White Rose Dragon from our hand. Synchro, going directly into our Bramble Rose. Now, if you want to go ahead and do Black Rose, you can do that and just nuke board. If you really want to go ahead and start that off, that's perfectly fine. But do note that given this, Black Bramble Rose can get some extra burn damage in whenever they activate any effects in response to yours. So, next you'll go ahead and activate Red Rose Dragon and White Rose Dragon. White Rose is send a level 5 or higher, or excuse me, a level 4 or higher. Plant monster from your deck to the graveyard. So we'll go ahead and we're going to send Cyclos, a Circular Sprite, And then we're going to add Blooming of the Darkest Rose and special summon a Rox Rose Dragon. Rox Rose will then get the effect. When it's special summon, we can add one card that mentions Black Rose Dragon from our deck to our hand. So we can utilize this a little bit differently to where we can either add the White Rose Cloister or another card that we can heavily utilize, which would be another Vengeful Witch. So we have that for follow-up for next turn. So we're at this point here, so we'll go ahead and activate Vengeful Witch, special summon it from our hand. Then we'll go ahead and synchro these two into another level 7. That level 7 is going to be Circle of the Fairies. Next, we'll go ahead and activate Vengeful Witch. We'll discard, if this card is sent to the graveyard and a synchro monster is on the field, you can discard one card, special one plant monster. So we're going to go ahead and discard the Blooming of the Darkest Rose and special summon from our deck a Twilight Rose Black Knight. We'll next activate Twilight Rose Black Knight effect to revive back the Vengeful Witch. Then utilize the effect, lower its level, synchro for 6. This is where we're going to go into our Rage Rose Witch. In defense, Rage Rose Witch effect will trigger. And we have the option of activating Cyclos as well. If an insect or plant synchro monster special summon while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it but banish it when it leaves the field. So in this case, we're going to go chain 1, Rage Rose Witch, chain 2, Cyclos. Cyclos will special summon it. Rage Rose will then allow us to send a Garden Rose Maiden, and then we're going to be able to send a Fengli. So Fengli gives us the capability of special summoning it, which is perfectly fine because we can then utilize it. But right now, we're kind of stuck with a full board. What do we want to do with this? Well, Circle of Fairies does give us an extra normal summon of a plant or insect monster, which we don't really need to worry about right now at this point. So we're going to take these two and go directly into our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. That way we get an extra negation on the board. Next, we'll go ahead and special summon the Therion, the Circular Sorcerer. Because we do have a plant in our graveyard at least, we'll take these two, go into another level 7. In this case, we can do Black Rose Moonlight, which is perfectly fine. But since we're going to want to push for further damage, we're going to go ahead and activate that Basil Rose Shoot, allowing us to bring back a Rox Rose Dragon or a Red Rose Dragon. Doesn't really matter in either case. But we're going to synchro these two off. Just do note, when Black Rose Moonlight is synchro summoned, or excuse me, is special summoned, or level 5 or higher is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. So you already get a bounce there when it's summoned. If you don't do it here, you'll have another chance here in a second. I'll show you what I mean. Because we're going to take Rox Rose and Black Rose Moonlight, go directly into our Arms of Genesys Return 0. Then we'll go ahead and banish the Garden Rose Maiden to summon back the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, because we can banish this card from our graveyard and target one Rose Dragon monster or one Dragon Synchro monster in our graveyard and special summon it. So we get to bring these back out, and we have full board capability to activate Black Rose Moonlight effect to basically bounce since it was special summon. The other thing is we got another monster negation here, which can help us out a lot. But right now we have 31, 3K, 24, 24, and 1600 attack on board, but we still have 2 extenders for next turn if we need to. At this point, we've already got a bounce. We have the capability of just nuking board with Bramble Rose by quick effect tributing it. Go into Black Rose, all our monsters will be protected. Because we have Rage Rose Witch, and that protects all our plants, but Black Rose Garden is currently making everything on our board plants. So if you want to board clear, what you could do is go ahead, activate Bramble Rose effect, tribute it, summon Black Rose Dragon, Bramble Rose effect. So Black Rose Dragon effect to destroy all cards on the field, but we're going to use Rage Rose Witch effect to protect it. If a card or cards on the field is destroyed by a card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can summon it. We're not utilizing that one, but plant monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Well, like I said, all face-up monsters on the field become plant monsters due to Black Rose Garden. So we're going to be basically just sending Black Rose Garden. And then we're going to inflict 2,400 damage plus 100 per each plant monster in our graveyard and banishment. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 3,100 damage there as well. So right there, you've already wiped board. You got a bounce. You got enough for a OTK if you need to, plus a couple extra cards for recursion. So you do have that full board capability to really break apart your opponent's board and really do a lot more damage as you see fit. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Feelings from all the dealings. Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?